BoyleSports World Grand Prix on Sky Sports.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to the Fallout Bar here for night number 2 of the BoyleSports World Grand Prix. And what a night of action it has been. Tonight from the OD team, joined by Scott Mitchell and Cam McFarlane. And of course, as you can see in the bottom left hand of your screen, the lovely Sarah Kinsella from BoyleSports, which is where we're going to start for the evening because she has lots and lots of work to do. Being the title sponsors is busy work, is it not, Sarah?
It is indeed, but it's worth it when you have such drama like we did tonight. We weren't disappointed at all. I mean, I'm just reading Michael Van Gerwen's tweet there. Actually, he's angry and disappointed that he didn't win tonight. But look, it's just mad the way things went tonight. And we got some great content from a sponsorship perspective. And as I said to you earlier on, I don't know whether it's a good thing or bad thing that all these top players are getting knocked out so early on. It might be good for our anti-post book, but it's certainly not good for the event. You want to see these top guys in there right up until the end, you know. So, look, I'm going all out for Johnny Clayton now. He's been backed into 10-1 from 16-1 after his win tonight on his birthday. I thought he was very, very good. He came off after his action. He was like, my hands are shaking. He was really, like, nervous. And you think playing as long as he's been playing that you wouldn't really get nerves like that. So, look, I just think he's a top-class guy and he's playing out of his skin. So I'm going to tip him up at 10-1. I'm going to go through a few of the market movers with you. I'll go through the guys that played tonight first. So we've Rob Cross 16-1 from 66. Christoph Rajecki is 16-1 from 40. Vincent Van Der Voort. I got great crack out of him actually in his interview. That was the first time I
He loves a quip in his interview.
He does love a quip.
Yeah.
He absolutely loves a quip.
His first line to me was, I will try not to insult you. I was like, go ahead, no problem, like, you know.
Start the day off right, Vincent. Well done.
Well done, man.
Oh no, he was. They actually warned me beforehand. They were like, he could be liable to say anything, you know. But no, I got on grand with him. His price has been cut into 66-1 from 150. Johnny Clayton, as I mentioned, 10-1 from 16. Ian White, how cool was he tonight? 22-1 from 66-1. And Darius Labanescus, 66-1 from a massive 200-1. Danny Noble, 20-1 from 100-1. Look, just so much movement, and obviously Gerwin price is shortened now as well with all these top class guys gone out. So Gerwin is now 15-8 favourite from 5-2. And like our special offers that we're focusing now for the rest of the tournament, full house price boosts on every player in every single match. And speaking of full house, we're after giving now 2,000 sterling to the Parkinson's disease, because at the start of the competition we said for every full house that's hit, so for anyone that's listening and doesn't know, the full house to win the match, most 180s and highest checkout, we were going to donate £500. There's been bloody 4 of them, like, you can't believe it. You know,
Clayton,
we're going to have to order more trophies.
Well.
Come on, sorry, get your checkbook out. Like,
honest to God, yeah. So $2,000 already. Obviously, Jose De Souza, Stephen Bunting, Johnny Clayton, and Danny Noppert. So yeah, 2,000 quid in the pot now. Delighted for the Parkinson's disease. Look, it's a great cause and it's worthy for sure. But we'll have to order more trophies, lads. But yeah, what a nice.
Come on my way as well if you want, just for being a star host.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
not for golf, surely.
One more
surely
thing,
not.
Sarah, I'll get your opinion on it. We've lost some big names tonight. You mentioned the full house with Danny Noppert. How awesome would it have been if MVG had fired in that 170 for the 9 data though?
I know, the whole press room, like, they got up off their chair, like on the, you know, and it was like, oh no, but sure, look, that's why we love this sport, is because of the drama like that. Do you know what I mean? And it's the uniqueness of this individual tournament, because it's the double start, double finish. You're going to have things like that. It's like Phil Taylor. He's won this competition so many times, but he's also gotten knocked out in the first round so many times as well. Yeah. So that's the beauty of it. And that's why we love it so much, you know?
Perfect. Thank you very much for joining us again this evening, Sarah. We will see you again tomorrow night, and we will let you get back on with all the important things you need to do while we talk nonsense for the next 40 minutes. So enjoy the rest of the evening, Sarah. Thank you very much.
No problem, lads. Thanks a million.
Thank
See you
you.
soon.
Thanks, Sarah.
Sarah from BoyleSports dropping in with all the latest prices for us as they are the title sponsors, and of course supported us throughout all of our work this week. I suppose I should probably say a proper hello to you two now. We'll start with you, Scott. How are we, buddy? You've got some dirt on your screen, mate, but we'll move past that.
Yep, thanks for that. Shout out to all the girls. I'm a little bit upset. There's a lot of comments about her nice accent, and I don't think I've had one comment about that in the full year that I've been here. So a little bit.
There's a reason for that, mate, but
yeah,
I don't want to upset others. So
the Glaswegians not quite getting the charm, but not all good, man. All good.
Scott, if you want us to lie to you, we can do if you want, mate. But
yeah, my ego needs it. The Scots need it after tonight.
He just chats rubbish in Mancunian.
I'm not Mancunian. I have now, but
You're something. I'm just not sure what the adjective is, Cam.
northern word we can't say on here. So
We'll just say northern and move on.
Move on quickly.
Talk through and in terms of review and 4 to preview tomorrow. Absolute seed again. And last night we went in complete reverse order. Tonight we're going to leave game number 8 for a little bit later on in the night, but we are going to start with game number 7 of the evening. Fresh from a game where he should have beaten Michael van Gerwen in the European Tour just a week ago. There was serious questions, especially by us last night, about Danny Noppert's ability to get over the line against one of the big boys, Michael van Gerwen in particular, Scott. But he did it in some fashion tonight, didn't he?
He deserved it. This is the way to beat Michael. It's not like Michael missed truckloads of doubles at the end of the race and he sort of nicked them. He had the control of that match pretty much from the first start, and he had to survive a barrage. Sarah mentioned the missed bullseye for the 9 data, but he's deserved this for a while. His 4 game has been fantastic all year without really making it past the quarterfinals, I don't think. But Danny Noppert has been playing well for the full of 2021, and he has actually beat a big scalp on stage. He beat Gerwin Price at last year's match play, and it was similarly good then. So he does have a big performance in him. I just hope that he has a big run in him now, and the way that the draws opened up, it could well come this week.
Yeah, completely agree. And I mentioned it with Sarah, mate. How close was that 9 data? We've seen a couple tweet it. Would it have been the greatest 9 data ever? Because I saw a tweet from Chris Murphy to contradict this, saying it was only the second closest to MVG's best one because he missed that double for the second back-to-back 9 data previously, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the second one, if he'd done 2 in a row, that's probably it's a different step. But would his one at this event been better than Brendan's was? I don't know. It's close, isn't it? Like,
we've never seen a 9 data on a 170 to have to hit a double to start. The 171 as well, which makes it even better because everybody knows how big of a fan of the treble 17 segment I am. Also, Darius Labanauskas, the second most accurate treble 17 hitter in the world. Finishing on a 170 would have been just ridiculous, wouldn't it?
It would have been ridiculous, but Brendan's at this one was also ridiculous. Like, to hit a 9 data at a double start is magic anyway. Like,
yeah, but then James Wade and Robert Thornton when they did exactly the same thing in exactly the same route in exactly the same game. So this one probably would have been just that little bit better because of the route. I'm not saying the prestige of being
just because of the fish. Just because of the fish.
Would have been the best we've ever seen on TV.
Yeah, just because of the fish, it's different, isn't it? But also the fish probably is slightly easier than the 161 because you stay at the same treble.
Yeah, but you have to hit the treble 17 in the visit before anyway. So you know, which is more difficult than the 180. So
either way, any of them are magic. Like
either way, yeah, very very good. We're in for a very very busy night, but we probably shouldn't have spoken so long about the 9 data because of how busy tonight is. But we do have to talk about another incident within this game. It's already stirring up a lot of interest in the chat room and a lot of interest on Twitter tonight. Sarah mentioned it also about the clips that BoyleSports managed to grab for their social media tonight, or shall I say Twitter, because everything else has been broken. If you don't know that, you live in a
all
hole.
day. Yep.
Danny Noppert and Van Gerwen, no love lost between the former World Cup pair. In the first set, Noppert was a little bit frustrated by what he thought was MVG stamping on the stage, making a bit of noise. Wayne Mardle's defending it, saying the stage does creak a little bit. But if you watch the video, he is in the exclusion zone, Scott. Where do you stand on it before we hear what Danny had to say about it?
I don't think MVG would do that. I don't feel as if maybe 6 months ago when his form was dipped and he felt like he needed to gain an extra 1% or 2%, but I think he knew he had the mental edge and not. But anyway, I don't think it's anything. And not to start anything, but I seen him do it to Fallon Sherrick a week or two ago anyway, just his toes peering over the exclusion zone anyway. So I don't think...
He's not the first player. He's not the only player.
No,
there's plenty that are borderline on that mat. Ours is very similar when we see the Online Darts Live League, although that is extended due to COVID restrictions previously, so players are allowed in a little bit.
And Danny Noppert has previous, sorry, I know there's a time thing, so I will rush, but Danny Noppert has previous of having a little moan at the end of games. He won about Price 2 years ago at the Grand Prix for his antics, and he also had some needle with Darren Webster in a Euro tour for the exact same thing. So the boy who cried wolf, I don't know, but I do like him, but I don't think there's anything in this, to be honest.
Let's hear what Danny Noppert has to say about it, and then we'll hear what Cam has to think afterwards. Let's hear from Danny Noppert.
Go on.
But first I want to say we have some troubles in the first set. And I say to him, you're stepping on the floor when I'm on a double. And we make some words with each other after the first set. But
Do you feel he was doing it deliberately?
Yeah. For my feeling, it was. But he say, I think like a player like Michael, he doesn't do that. But for my feeling, it was.
Interesting. Danny clearly thinking it is deliberate. Why did Danny keep bringing it up? He one move on from Rose. It just felt like it needed airing the same way that Vincent Van Der Voort felt like something needed airing a little bit later on. Cam, before we cut to that, you had something to say just quickly before we move on to the next game?
I just think, we all know Michael, we know how good he is, but we also know he doesn't need to do anything like that. But also, if Danny thinks he's doing something like that, he's not saying that for no reason. Like, if he's in that area, and it might not be deliberate, I'm not sitting here and saying it's deliberate to do it, but if he's stepping in that gap by accident or on purpose, whatever it is, he needs to just have a look and step away from it. Like, you can't be in that exclusion zone.
Yeah. I think the stamping is going to be a bit he said, she said. That's all going to be there. The fact that he has his feet in the exclusion zone, that's a rule that needs to be observed. And at that point, you're going to get called up on it and you're going to be in the wrong. We need to move on, boys, because we still have another 7 games to review and a game to preview. And we're going to carry on with a battle of 2 former world champions. This one was meant to be, if Peter Wright turns up with a set of darts that we've seen him win a title with, i.e. the match play or the world championship, he coasts to victory. That did not happen because Rob Cross played very, very well tonight, Cam.
Yeah, he did. And anyone that knows Online Darts and ourselves, I like Rob Cross. I've been tipping him for a long, long time. And it was good to see him actually get over the line for once tonight. And he looked good tonight. And Peter Wright, maybe not at his best, but if someone like that is not quite at the top level, to go and beat him, Rob Cross has done exactly what he has to do tonight. And it's a really good performance from him, I thought.
Yeah, completely agree. Cam, interesting. A lot of the talk was about Peter Wright's equipment. He went back to what looked like the World Championship darts, but with his own normal flights and stems. I thought I noticed a change in Rob Cross's equipment to what looked like longer points. That changes the balance of his dart, and he seemed to relinquish it.
He looked absolutely class. From the tone was set from the first visit. Peter goes away with 160, Cross could be shaken at that point. He hits a 1-5-6 straight away. Didn't really bat an eyelid from that. There was no shaky moments, no real mistakes from him, and not any that were punished anyway. So it was fantastic from Cross tonight. Someone with Nopper. It was most of the underdogs playing well tonight.
Yeah, I can't lie. I absolutely started rubbing my hands together when Peter Wright went 160 and Rob Cross backed up with 156 to open the match. I was like, here we go. Because, Scott, it was off the back of watching Gary Anderson crush out, averaging just 77 in the game before, to Ian White. Seed-Ageddon started early.
Yeah, this one was a tough watch, and I'm not mean to give stick to Ian White, but I think anyone really could have won this. He did deserve it, but it was just uncomfortable to watch. It was very scrappy. If Gary Anderson had stepped it up, he would have won the game. If Ian White had stepped up, he would have cruised the game. But what was it? 8 match starts Ian White took to eventually win it. 7.
2 in the previous leg and 5 in the deciding leg.
So the nerves were clearly there. He's clearly not comfortable on the stage. So I'm glad for him that he managed to get the win, because it would have been horrible for him to lose it after being the better man. But not a good game, and I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't good.
You don't have to get all squeamish when you say it, mate. It was crap. It was not a good game tonight. It was not good by either man. Ian White, back from surgery, says he's pain free now. You can catch that interview on our YouTube channel, as you can with everything else that we don't show you clips of tonight. Gary Anderson practicing with Ryan. So Ryan said they went pretty well in the week. The second one going far better than the first one, but it obviously not paying off for the Flying Scotsman, as he is out in round 1, along with his former World Cup partner, Peter Wright. They're the last 2 we've reviewed. We're going to keep working our way backwards because this was an absolute belter of a game to talk about. Then we might jump forwards to the Jose versus Glenn, and then we'll finish up rounding off the rest of the night. Nathan Aspinall versus Christoph Tyski. Before a dart was thrown at this year's event, judging off their recent appearances, Nathan Aspinall was the best starter at the tournament this year. Christoph Tyski the worst. But my God, our producer in the background is going to hate me saying this because it's true. Christoph Tyski is a different animal on TV this year. He looks so solid, so composed, and he is going to take some stock if he performs like that again, isn't he?
Yes, and yeah, it's not a result that I want to talk about really, because we all know me. We all know I like Nathan a lot, but Christoph, like you said, looks like a different animal on TV this year. Like, he's got over that hump of the can he set to the next level, and he looks comfortable and looks like a top draw, top 16 TV player these days. Like, and yeah, it wasn't the result I wanted to see tonight, but you cannot argue the fact that the guy looks really, really good.
Yeah, and the second set has got a little bit of quirkiness, the symmetry of the way the legs are won. 14 Ratajski, 16 Aspinall, 14 Ratajski, 16 Aspinall, 14 Ratajski. I was literally about to make an observation about a player winning a set with the same number of legs for all 3 of his, same number of his darts for all 3 of his legs, and then notice his opponent had done it the same. That can't have happened very often before, surely.
No, it's freakish and it's very impressive considering 14s for double start 3 times in a row. You have to hand it to him. But I'm actually shocked at the outcome of this game, not because Ratajski won, but because it was a tight battle, intense, and Aspinall came out the loser. We don't really see that from him. We usually see if it gets a little tight, then he's the man to win it. But that last leg just couldn't get going for 9 darts, I think. So
brutal, isn't it? That is the format in one. In a best of 3 sets, double start, 1 leg decider, and it's just not there, is it? That's just the way the game goes sometimes.
First 3, it's so hard to then get back into it. Like, it doesn't matter how good you are. Like, you straight away, if they've got in and you've not, you're under pressure, and it's so difficult. And like, it's such a punishing format. Like,
you got to stop saying "like" at the end of sentence as if you're going to carry on, because now I'm sat waiting for more.
I'm like,
It's like waiting for more. The fans want more from you, Cam, and you're not giving it to them.
Yeah,
Which means we're going to have to give them more, and we're going to have to move on again.
Dan
because
Simpson,
time
like
is
I say,
short.
like at the end of everything because I'm a Geordie.
You're not a Geordie. You're
I'm
you're
not.
something. We've already had this conversation. You are something. Let's jump to the final game of the night. Give this one a quick once over. It was a really, really tough watch. And look, any other night we probably wouldn't talk about this game until very, very last. But because it is Glen Durrant against Jose de Sousa, because we have to talk about the form of Glen Durrant, that's why we're bringing it forward a little bit. Finished with a 58 average tonight. Did manage to get one leg on the board, Scott, but it just seems such a struggle for the man right now.
Just simple. It's the same thing every single one of us has said for the full year. It's tough to watch him. It's not nice. You know he's going to lose when he goes in. And sadly, I think it's finished. I don't know if whether he hands in a card or whether he just runs it out till he gets kicked out. I don't see him being able to keep up with the standard. Sorry, but I think that's it. I've drawn the line. Yeah,
he's not the youngest man, and we all know the quality he possesses when he does get going. The problem that we've seen is, I think, is that when we've seen players go on a slide, it has never been to this extent.
No.
Benito Van Der Pass, maybe, and I can't remember his name. The lad that had diabetes at the Grand Slam.
Barry Van Peer.
Van Peer. His average crumbled at times because of that as well. But obviously, you know what the cause of that is. That is completely mental. It's diabetes. I genuinely think this slide might be just too big to arrest. If he'd managed to catch it 3-4 months ago when he's still averaging 80 odd, fine. I know this is double start, so it skews it an awful lot. There was a lot of missed starts at double to start for Glenn as well. But at the same time, it just, every interview before the event, every conversation on Twitter is about how he's struggling with confidence, how he just needs that one game to give it a go. And it's almost hope. It's not belief that that's still there anymore. And he has to find that spot. He has to reignite it. Because like I just said, without being rude, he is not the youngest man in the world. He's been in and out of darts for a long, long time, as myself and Jar found out when we interviewed him as part of On the Hockey a few years ago and did a full live stories with Glenn. He's been around the game for a long, long time, in and out, and found his success relatively late. But it's not looking good at the minute.
No, it's really not. I mean, I know it's double sport. I know it's more difficult, and you're not going to see the averages that you might see normally. But 58, like that is a long, long way from the player that Glenn is, and that's the biggest thing. Like he is quality, and he's a top level player. But 58, averaging that in a match, double star or not, is a long, long way from what he can do. And how does he arrest that slide?
That's what I mean. I don't know anymore. We've seen a lot of players slide and never quite come back, but never to this extent. Quick word on Jose. Job done for him. He has to and will get better throughout the event, surely. But that was a case of an awkward position against a friend. He just didn't want to be there, did he?
No, he just wanted to get out of there, get it done. He did what he had to do. He will improve throughout the event.
Completely agree. 3 games to go for us to review before we look ahead to tomorrow. And we might even have one extra interview clip for you guys, but we're going to leave that until last because I can see the producer's currently out of shot. Bless him. He's got work to do. So we will start with the first game of the night. That's not very nice, Joe. I can see that too. No one else can. And the listeners of this as a podcast definitely doesn't know what I'm going on about. But you gave me the peace sign, I think is the way to describe it. Let's start with on to game number 1 of the night. A very hotly fancied Brendan Dolan, the history maker in this event, picked up some decent form in the last 18 months or so. A couple of Pro Tour wins. Changed the pace of his game. Looks like he's relishing in playing the sport again. Dumped out by Lucky D, Darius Labanauskas, and his double tops that I've been warning people about for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Scott.
Is it me? Sorry, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was Camston. No, you said that Brendan Dolan's been showing good form for the past 18 months, etc., etc. He's done pretty much nothing on TV. In this purple patch, this good form is going to dry up at some point, and it could be some point soon. And he could be looking back thinking, what a wasted opportunity. I couldn't beat Labanauskas. I couldn't beat anyone. But a good point from Craig there. It's just flashed up on my screen. The 1-5-6 probably was the sucker punch to change the momentum of the full game. That was a moment. I remember a 1-6-4 or 1-6-7 against Simon Whitlock at the World Championships to save the match. This guy can produce big checkouts at the right moments, and it's just about getting the consistency, to be honest. But he deserved the win, and I don't know what Brendan needs to do.
I just think it's one of them games, wasn't it? Darius had the key moment, the 1-5-6. He played well in the last leg to get him, the last set, to be honest. He won that 3-0. He got out the blocks early and did what he had to do. I don't think it was a terrible performance from Dolan. He averaged 90. It's just the odd dart here and there to tighten up and take your chances when you get them, possibly in that second set. But yeah, that 1-5-6 was an absolute killer. Like I said, it's difficult to say it changed the match at that point, but it definitely swung the momentum in Darius's favour, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. It really did. Like, it was a big shot, and those sort of big shots, especially in it's not a hugely long game. I know it's set play, but it's still not. It's a short set play. That sort of thing can switch something on its head, and it turns the set in someone's balance, and it just made a big difference because it wasn't just the fact that he hit that, but Brendan just missed a chance just before it as well.
Completely agree. 2 more games to talk about. We're going to save the next interview till last. Why not? Let's tease it out. Let's talk about the birthday boy, Johnny Clayton, the ferret. We heard he's had some Welsh cakes in the back press room. He's been to Nando's and Mark Webster, who made him pay the type so-and-so. Thanks for working with us this week, Mark.
Always really.
For the 2-0 performance from Johnny Clayton, job done. One of the most professional jobs you're going to see all week. 2-180, 60% checkout success. And the big one fish. We did see it tonight, and it came from Johnny Clayton. It was absolutely superb, Cam.
It was. And I'll be honest, if any of us thought it was going to come tonight, there's one guy that loves a bullseye, and that's Callum Ridge. So to do him,
I received a tweet earlier from somebody telling me they had backed Callum Ridge to hit a 170 in the match.
Was it the same person that tweeted me saying the same
Probably.
thing? Was
Probably.
it one of our fans on Online Darts?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
And then it happened to go to his opponent in the match to win the set. I was like, with the second leg, I think.
My fellow Blackburn fan by any chance?
Yeah.
Yep, I thought it might have been. Yes, I got the same thing. And backed Callum Ridge to hit a bullseye finish. We know that's something that he has in his locker more than probably most people. But for Johnny to do it against him, and it was so comfortable. He basically made it look like it was an exhibition match. He played really well, and he didn't have to go to his top level, but he just made it look comfortable, and he did what he had to do.
Yeah, Scott, with everything else that's gone on tonight, we might get to this point a little bit later on now, but are we heading for a Welsh 1-2 ding-dong battle in the final?
I think so. The entire half of the draw is no one's really put a performance in to scare me other than Johnny Clayton. So, yeah, it's Josie de Sousa next. Spoiler alert, just in case anyone's not looked at the draw. But if you can get through that, it should really be an all Welsh final at this point. Yeah, Josie's the only seed left in the draw. And as you rinsed me last night, I don't really fancy Josie that much, the same as Phil Bars. So, yeah, I would take Johnny for that side.
For that to backfire horrendously. Yeah. Like the fact you're 1 and 2 to be in this tournament are both gone already.
That's for Ike's, thanks.
Lee Boyce as well, you're in that club. I know you're watching somewhere. You're loitering in the background after I gave you the night off tonight. You definitely well chuffed with that, as your 2 finalists are nowhere to be seen in Leicester anymore either. Packed up and away they go. Final game of the night to talk about before we do look ahead to tomorrow night's round number 2. Vincent Van Der Voort against Gabriel Clemens. This, boys, was sneakily a very, very good game, I thought. 90 average from Van Der Voort, 84 from Clemens. But actually, they both started at the similar time. They both hit the big scores and swung haymakers at each other throughout. It's just those missed doubles to get in crucial moments or the odd leg that gets away from them that means those averages are down where they are.
Yeah, and it wasn't a bad game. It was decently solid, but like, how many times have we seen Vincent Van Der Voort play and not hit any 180s? Like, with how his throw is and the way it's so consistent. As soon as that first one goes in, it just follows it because of the pace. He's done well to go and bash that off 2-0 without hitting any 180s. But
it was a doubles, mate. He started very well, finished 6 out of 10 on the outer ring. Clemens finished 4 of 6. That first set, 5 legs up, all 5 legs, first start of the double. No messing around from either.
No, and that's what you think. Like, he's not usually the guy you go first to go, if I want to hit someone to hit a double, like, oh, Vincent Van Der Voort, no. If I wanted to bash in a 180 when I need one, like, fine. But no, he played really well and didn't score particularly well, but played really well. And to beat Gabriel Clemens 2-0, who is a very, very solid player that we all know he's not an easy man to beat, ever, on the tour, I think that's a big result for him. And I think it was quite impressive, actually, because it wasn't his usual. He didn't come in and bulldoze anyone like he bulldozes any arena that he doesn't particularly like. Like, he just played really, really solid.
Look out, Winter Gardens.
Yeah.
Scott, to you. No drama with his opponent this time, but Van Der Voort is never one to hide away from how he feels about anything. We've spoken about this a little bit on the live lounge and may have tweeted about it and had conversations about it in our WhatsApp, but the man went to town a little bit on the European Championship qualification for this year, didn't he?
He never shuts away from his opinion, and after a good win, he's entitled to do that. I don't know if you've seen, he gave a big reaction after he won. It was a big celebration for Vincent standards anyway, and I just want to shout out his 104 checkout after they hit the treble 5 to recover that 89 and 2's class. But there's who better to tell you about Vincent than Vincent? I'm sure we've got the clip here, haven't we, go?
Look at that, he's teed it up for me. I don't even have to do my job. And then I've gone and said that line anyway. Here is Vincent Van Der Voort having a pop at the PDC.
I mean, we have so much tournaments that doesn't really matter. And they were all the last couple of weeks. I mean, no disrespect to the World Cup or the World Series, but it's just exhibition tournaments. So it's good to be back and playing real tournaments. Yeah, hopefully, but it's not like we play frequently now. It's really difficult. I mean, considering the European Championship is just absolute disgrace that it held the way it is. So you're not able to play for it. And before I say something really bad about PDC again, so let's leave it there.
What criteria would you like to have seen for the Europeans?
Oh, you have so many things. I mean, you knew in March that there will not be a lot of Euro Tours, so you could have done not 2 tournaments, but saying okay, the Pro Tours are involved or anything else, and you could have made it a lot more fair.
He's never one shy away from an opinion, and he gave us many there. I wasn't expecting the first half of that clip. Interesting that he's going to make those comments on the day that the World Series finals invitations are released. 4 of those will be players from the Netherlands. Suddenly, I don't think Van Der Voort is on that Christmas card list. He's ruled himself out of that one because that tournament doesn't matter, according to him. And then rightly having a pop at the European Tour after only 2 events counting towards qualification and players getting in on countback because they played in the second European Tour, not the first one. How? It's 2021. Surely we can do better than that.
Go on, Scott.
Yeah, I don't think there was an easy answer to this, but
there's a lot more to say on that. So why don't we look ahead? Koff, RVB, Koff. Yeah, no doubt he will be one of them. Jermaine Wattermain the second, Danny Noppert possibly if he's not already there, number 3, and then Vincent or Jeffrey Desvan potentially in the number 4 would be my picks for that. No doubt we will see hear the Eye of the Tiger at the Amsterdam Arena, I think it is. On to tomorrow night then, boys, and we move into the second round. I was just about to double check the format, and the website that I'm using lists it as a best of 21 legs. Best of 5 sets, I'm pretty sure, is the format for round 2. First to 3 this time. The players get a little bit longer on stage, and there is only 4 games for the evening, so tomorrow we can talk about it in a lot more depth and probably at a more reasonable time of the day. Game number 1 tomorrow night, boys. This could be very, very good, actually. 2 players carrying a lot of form in 2021. UK Open runner-up Luke Humphreys taking on Pro Tour winner Ryan. So, Scott, I'll come to you first. How do you see this one go?
I think all the confidence is with Humphreys, so I would edge on him. I would say we'll beat arguably the most difficult player in the first round, but Humphreys is talking a good game. I've never seen him talk as confidently as this, and so backed up Wade's good form. I'd go with him.
Yeah. Speaking of talking a good game, by the way, chat room and people listening, he's another who delivered in his interview. That's got quite a few comments on our YouTube channel already. So don't forget, once we're finished tonight or tomorrow whilst you're at work and you're supposed to be busy, stick our YouTube channel on and fire up the rest of the interviews that you've missed from yesterday and today from all of the players as Phil Barr's down in Leicester picking them up for us. Don't forget, as we're talking through the predictions, fire in who you think will win each game into the chat room. We'll try and flash some of them up on screen for you too. And as the box says, don't forget to like today's show, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss us for the rest of the week, and comment below to get involved. Cam, where are you going for game number 1? Ryan Searle or Luke Humphreys?
Well, I think we all know from my past predictions that I'm a big fan of Luke Humphreys. I think he's top draw, and I just think he'll have too much, and I think he will edge over the line. I don't think he'll beat. Nobody's going to bash Ryan Searle up by. He's one of them players that will stick there. If you get into a battle, he'll be there, but I think Luke will just edge him.
Interesting. 2 for Luke. It's going to be a full house, boys, as the BoyleSports specialist.
Oh, hello. It's a bit. It doesn't happen very often.
I'm going for Luke Humphreys too. I just think he's just got that little bit of an edge right now. I think he's got that steely determination in him. And he looks like he is ready to win a big one, which is a little bit earlier in his career than I first probably thought. A few more in the chat room. Craig going for Luke Humphreys. Malachy going for Luke Humphreys as well. And he's given us the next 3. So that must be the sign to move on. Game number 2. Yes, please. I'm here for this. As long as the result goes one way. Sorry, Stephen Bunting. I'm a big fan of yours. You are a great bloke and were fantastic with your time previously to us. But he takes on my boy, James Wade. Cam, coming to you first. Where's this one going?
Well, what did you think I'm going to do?
Probably go against me, because that's what you do.
Good boy. No, I thought Stephen Bunting was very, very impressive in his first round game. He played very, very well. He tucked away Darryl Gurney in a way that none of us probably thought he would do. And I think he carries it on. And I think it'll be close. It's always close when it's James Wade. But I think he might just find enough. I think he nicks it.
I'm going Bunting. Scott, how about you?
I'll back Bunting. He beat him at the Worlds, and I think other than Clayton and Gerwyn Price, he had the performance of the first round for me, so I'll also go with Stephen.
Interesting. I mean, my boy's a 2-time former champion of this event. Struggled in the first round of late, to be honest. His first round form at this event has been dire. But once he's out of that first round, the most nonchalant 9-dart you've ever seen in your life.
I love that.
If James Wade had hit the 9-dart that MVG went for tonight and just walked away as if it was nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
I love that start just coming up at the bottom there. Like, he hit one, and that was it.
Mm-hmm. I am going for James Wade. No surprises there. But if he's going to lose, Stephen Bunting is a great man and he's a Liverpool fan. So that will do nicely for me. Number 3, boys. And to be honest, this might be the toughest test he faces until very, very late in the event, purely because Mervyn King is so set on that double 16, Scott. Will that play a part tomorrow?
I'm going to say no, because I thought that going into the World Championships that Mervyn King would give him a game and get rolled over. So I don't see why it would be any different now. I think Price will stay rolling. And just where we're on Gavin Price, Michael Van Gerwen lost £100,000 roughly off prize money just there by getting beat off of Danny Noppert because he was defending London's money 2 years ago. So I think Gavin Price is really, really got a bit between his teeth, and I think it'll be a 3-0.
He's had a fantastic evening, hasn't he? Peter Wright was probably close to it as well. Not 2 years ago. I know he lost first round last year, so he's basically got the Grand Prix as a free roll for the next 2 years, as if Peter Wright needs any more invitation. Yeah, what an evening that is for Gerwin Price. He didn't even pick up a dart. He's probably got his feet up somewhere. Cam, where are you going for this one? Price versus King?
Yeah, I think last time we saw it, I really like Merv, and I think I'd love to see him just get over the line in something, but when it comes to it in the big ones, I think the mental side of it has just got him, and I think Price will just outdo him, and I think he'll win quite comfortably.
All I know is we're going to see a lot of snarling on the stage between the pair. If this was the best of 3, we'd be crying out for more just to see the facial reactions of both, because one's going to give it and one is going to absolutely hate it. Hate Fury, boys. I think Price probably does it this time, but I'd love to see King give it a game. And to be honest, I'd love to see him just have a set where he starts on tops, because his double 16 is very, very good, but his double top to get him out of trouble was arguably even better, and that means it's going to be there to get him into the games as well. Yeah. And then he can go for the 160 to start as well. Final game of the evening. No bias here, but Ross Smith will be wearing the Online Darts logo on the television once again tomorrow.
Away from me though. I was going to go
brilliant. Up against the Yellow Peril himself with the Chizzy Rascal. Every time I hear Dave Chisnell's name, all I think is that Chizzy Rascal montage from the guy that is just a necklace bling with 2002 graffiti graphics. Hideous. But Dave Chisnell's pedigree in this event, apart from lifting the trophy, Scott, is very, very good. Can Ross Smith upset him tomorrow?
He can, but I think Chizzy wins it 3-2 for me. I don't know how he's good at this tournament, but he is. But in his defending runner-up money, because it was him that played Van Gerwen 2 years ago. But 3-2 Chisnell for me.
All the way, but the man who we say his action breaks down under pressure all the time is going to double start, win a deciding set. It just doesn't make sense, but that's Dave Chisnell in a nutshell. Cam, for you?
It's a really tough one, because I do not understand how Dave Chisnell does well in this event. But am I going head over heart?
How Dave Chisnell does well in this event, by the way. If you asked him, he'd just be like, yeah.
Yeah, I know, and that's the thing, isn't it? But I'm going heart over head. I say we see the Online Darts logo go one more round, and Ross Smith just nicks it 3-2.
Would be a bit good. That would be a bit good. That the first player I ever had to work at my university in an exhibition was Ross Smith. That would be very, very nice. Just bringing it full circle.
Forget Chisnell for a minute. Ross Smith is a very, very talented boy. Very,
very nice person, but a very, very talented data player, and one that is consistently on the rise right now and threatening something similar, I think, to Ryan Searle. I don't think he's a million miles away from where Ryan Searle is, and he is getting a lot of talk as underrated and next up to join the top 32 big boys consistently. I do think Chisnell he's just got a way of winning games at the Grand Prix, so that's where my allegiance is going to lie for tomorrow. Boys, thank you very much for joining me on the Fallout Bar this evening. Chat room, thank you all as well. A massive, massive thank you to BoyleSports for making this happen this week, and all of our other sponsors, to Modus, to Red Dragon, as those guys consistently back us throughout the year. I was a little bit wrong yesterday. There is no live league this week. You cannot tune into that tomorrow daytime. They've taken a break because the Grand Prix is on a week, so you can fully enjoy what the PDC has to offer. What that does mean is you've got time to go and watch all of our interviews. So head over to our YouTube channel anyway. There will be 7 or 8 of them up. I'm not sure if Darius did one tonight because of the language barrier, but everybody else will have the reaction up there. You can see that Van Der Voort explosive interview in full. You can see that Danny Nopper in full, and all of the other winners from tonight and last night. As the box says at the bottom, please don't forget to drop us a like before you leave, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you do not miss any more content from us. We're going to be dropping interviews and fallout bars through the rest of the week. We'll be here for live streams of the next women's series and God knows what else in our build-up to the World Championships, the busiest part of the year for us. No more Saturdays until something like the 13th of December without PDC darts. It is non-stop go from here. Massive thank you to Jarlith in the background as well. Some of you guys in the chat room will know how much we love Jai's produced the show for us, stayed up late, and he's got an early start in the morning. And with that, it is time to say goodnight. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow night.
BoyleSports World Grand Prix on Sky Sports.